Occupy Central activists accused of teaming up with Taiwan independence advocates. Philippine president again rules out apologizing for hostage incident. And wildfires in New South Wales get worse.
Good evening. Pro-establishment legislators have jointly issued a statement criticizing some organizers of the Occupy Central movement for teaming up with Taiwanese independence advocates to promote their campaign. They say such a move is against the one country, two systems principle. A prime mover of the Occupy Central movement has denied the accusation and called it a smear campaign against the movement. Jenny Lam reports.
Organizers of the Occupy Central movement, convener of the Alliance for True Democracy, and their supporters were in Taiwan last week. There they met with Chi Ming-tae, the former chairman of the Democratic Progressive Party and leader of the 2007 Red Shirts protest against Chen Shui-bian, whose presidency was deeply mired in a corruption scandal. Labour Party lawmaker Lee Cheuk-yeon was among those who went on the trip.
The whole Occupy Central movement, our democracy movement, is a local movement, but we need support from outside, and we need support from the Taiwan people. And Taiwan people naturally are concerned about Hong Kong because they will see the experience of Hong Kong as something they want to look at and see how it affects Taiwan themselves.
But Tam Yu-chung, chairman of the Democratic Alliance for the Betterment and Progress of Hong Kong, said today it is worrying that Hong Kong activists are using what he calls overseas elements to promote their movement. In a jointly signed statement, Tam questioned if Occupy Central activists plan to work out a strategy with Taiwan independence advocates to challenge the bottom line of where the one-country concept may stand. Involving outside forces in Hong Kong politics, Tam warned, will push Hong Kong into a danger zone and risk violence and confrontation. He added that it is against the one country, two systems principle and is not conducive towards achieving universal suffrage. Meanwhile, Chan Kin-man, one of the organizers of the Occupy Central movement, said the accusation against them is nothing but a smear campaign. He noted that officials of the central government in Beijing had met with Frank Hsieh, another former chairman of Taiwan's Democratic Progressive Party. He asked why all the fuss about their meeting with the people of Taiwan during the recent trip, with Chi Ming-tae just being one of them. Jenny Lam, TVB News.
Philippine President Benigno Aquino has once again ruled out offering an apology or compensation over the 2010 Manila hostage tragedy that killed 8 people from Hong Kong. That follows a decision by the Manila City Council to deliver an apology. Vicky Kung has more.
The city of Manila is willing to say sorry, but not the national government. The Philippine president today once again rejected offering an apology or compensation.
Our position is the act of one individual who's probably mentally unstable at that point in time should not be construed as the act of the entire country.
Aquino's position is at odds with that of the Manila City Council, which passed a resolution yesterday to apologize to Hong Kong over the 2010 tragedy that left 8 people dead. The council hopes a formal apology will be delivered by Joseph Estrada, the former Philippine president who's now mayor of Manila. That's aimed at bringing closure to the hostage crisis that has damaged ties between Hong Kong and the Philippines. But lawmaker James To, who has been helping families of the victims, said today things have not yet been confirmed.
We are a bit puzzled that if somebody from Philippines claiming to be representing the city government, but up to date, we have received no phone call, not an email from anybody.
Some of the survivors and families of the victims met with Secretary for Security Lai Tong-kwok again today. They reiterated 4 demands from the Philippines: an official apology, compensation for victims, punishment for those involved in the botched rescue attempt, and a promise to protect tourists in future. Tse Chi-kin, the brother of slain tour guide Masa Tse, said they hope whoever offers the apology represents the Philippine government. And there are conflicting reports as to when Estrada will be in Hong Kong. According to some reports, he will make a stop over next month after a trip to Beijing. But other reports said he could arrive in Hong Kong as early as Friday. Vicky Kong, TVB News.
The wildfire crisis in Australia has just gotten worse. Strong winds and hotter temperatures are exacerbating the bushfires raging across New South Wales. Residents of the Blue Mountains have been ordered to evacuate as firefighters battle another day of unrelenting fires.
There are still 59 fires burning across Australia's most populous state, 19 of which are out of control. The greatest challenge to firefighters now is hot and dry winds gusting at 100 kilometers an hour. Ensuring the fires don't combine into one monster blaze is their only hope of containing the crisis.
For every hour that we get through today without any outbreak, without any serious run of fire, that's an indication we've got every prospect of keeping fires that little bit further away from people, from homes and communities that might find themselves in the path of developing large fires.
At a radio station in Melbourne, Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott said locals need to stop blaming climate change for the fires.
Climate change is real, as I've often said, and we should take strong action against it. But these fires are certainly not a function of climate change. They're just a function of life in Australia.
The fires have killed one man, destroyed 208 homes, and damaged more than 100 others since last week. With temperatures rising rapidly, residents of the Blue Mountains were told to flee their homes.
Yeah, we've been told that it's heading this way and it's coming at a great pace.
Before evacuating, some scrambled to save their homes from burning.
Filling our gutters up with water, keeping the grass wet, hopefully trying to save what we've got.
This woman insists on keeping her family put until conditions deteriorate.
Because it's not definite that we have to go, we'll just stay here.
But this family of ducks is taking no chances. No new fire outbreaks have been reported so far, but officials warn the inaccessible terrain and highly combustible vegetation continue to make for one fire nightmare.
Two new reports from human rights groups have detailed what they say are violations of international law by the American counterterrorism program. The reports describe civilian casualties from U.S. drone strikes and add to growing criticism about the way the United States fights terrorism. James Aiken reports.
The United States has carried out hundreds of drone strikes since 2004, mostly near Pakistan's northern tribal regions, an area considered an al-Qaeda haven. But the resulting civilian casualties raise serious questions about the legality of the attacks. In their latest reports, Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch detail dozens of civilian deaths caused by drone strikes in the region that they say the U.S. refuses to acknowledge. Among the casualties, a 68-year-old grandmother killed while farming with her grandchildren.
2 of the 6 cases that we examine in my report show that the U.S. indiscriminately killed civilians. This is a clear violation of international law.
In effect, the Obama administration has sought to evade accountability by promising that its policies have already improved. This trust us approach to the law, so evident in the recent NSA surveillance scandal, is also manifesting here with the added gravity of life and death.
The reports come during an official visit by Pakistan's Prime Minister to Washington. Nawaz Sharif repeated his country's long-standing opposition to U.S. drone attacks, calling them a major irritant in their relationship.
I would therefore stress the need for an end to drone attacks.
The White House, meanwhile, remains firm.
U.S. counterterrorism operations are precise, they are lawful, and they are effective. And the United States does not take lethal strikes when we or our partners have the ability to capture individual terrorists. Our preference is always to detain, interrogate, and prosecute.
While Pakistani officials often publicly fume over the drone attacks, critics say they remain concerned that behind the scenes, the government and military quietly continue to assist the U.S. in conducting the attacks. James Aiken, TVB News.
British royal fans are gathering outside St. James Palace in London ahead of the christening of Prince George. Some superfans bedded down for the night to secure their spots for today's christening. It comes 3 months after George's birth. Palace officials say Prince William and Kate have asked 7 people to be godparents. They include childhood and university friends and a friend of William's late mother, Princess Diana. But the royal watchers outside may be disappointed there are no plans for William and Kate to show off George to the crowds after the christening.
Still to come in our newscast, China and India agree on border defense deal. A crackdown on illegal workers in Hong Kong. And Aung San Suu Kyi finally collects the 1990 Sakharov Prize.